Hello, lovely people. It's Caroline here with your full supermoon in Virgo soul empowerment reading. I felt drawn to do this reading today. It's been a while since I've recorded a reading, to be honest. I've been doing lots of reading privately, but I just hadn't been called to do a collective reading. So something clicked last night and I just really felt drawn after I did a collective Reiki healing session for the full moon, sorry, not the new moon. And I thought, no, I really want to do this today. So here I am. For those of you who have been here before, welcome back. And for those of you who are new to my channel, thanks for joining me. And I hope you enjoy my different style of reading. You will notice I really focus on ourselves and what we can do to navigate, although this sounds a little bit cheesy, navigate life with greater grace and ease. So really things that we can look at or focus on or influence that are within our control, because ultimately that's where we can have an impact and really make a change. So I've done, what have I got there? I've drawn 5 cards for you. Didn't want to bore you with my shuffling skills, or more correctly non-shuffling skills. So I've pre-drawn the 5 cards, and the first card that came out, I asked for a message for the collective in terms of what is in our best interest to release at this time. So with full moons, it's about closing out cycles. It's also about letting go of things that might be anchoring to our past. So this seemed like a really fitting question to ask first up. And the card that came out is this one here, which is One of Keys, the Architect. So what this is saying to me, or saying to us really here, is what is in our best interest to release is that we need to look to release the need to oversee and mentally understand all aspects of our life. The thing is, when we overplan and overthink things, we will miss risking the true signs and directions our higher self is trying to lead us in. And we close off other possibilities or other pathways when we become too focused on outcomes and how we want or expect them to be. So often we can find ourselves thinking in terms of this or that when we're in our heads. It has to be one or another. However, what this card is suggesting is that we need to open up to the idea of and both. And by that I mean that things can comfortably coexist even when they don't appear related, or that they are at opposite ends of the scale. It doesn't have to be this or that. It can be and both. And it is when we're in that space of and both that we further open ourselves up to the universe and our own personal expansion. So it's really important that we look this month to release the need to oversee and understand mentally or cognitively every single aspect of our life. The second card I drew was this card here, Seek the Truth. Ooh, I'm having trouble picking that up, but slippery. There we go, Seek the Truth, beautiful card. And this was in relation to what's the collective theme for the coming month. And what I'm getting through here is, no matter the situation or potential outcome, it's important that we always look to uncover the truth behind it, and as it relates to us and our life journey. Often it's about stepping away from things and viewing events or situations from an objector or observer perspective. So as we don't cloud our lenses of truth with maybe the past wounds or encounters that we've had, because as you know, our own life experience and things that happen to us can mean that we see things from a different perspective, and sometimes a different perspective from what they are intended or the lessons that we can learn. So it's about sort of coming into that really neutral place and taking ourselves out of that situation, even though it's a situation involving us, and really viewing things from that outside observer perspective, as I mentioned. To do this, because it isn't necessarily an easy thing to do, because we've got ourselves, our emotions, all sorts of things tied up in our situation and invested in a situation. So to do this, it can be helpful to think about as if you're trying to peel back layers within yourself with a real sense of curiosity. So by saying that, you can sort of ask your question, or one of the ways I personally get to the bottom of things or get that outside perspective is that I start asking myself questions. You know, things like if something happens, why does this feel like this to me? Is there something else that's in play here, or is there something that's happened in my past that this is triggering, and is my reaction actually, or my response, I should say, actually appropriate for the situation? And the other one that can be really helpful is, look, how would I advise a friend in this situation? So often we can easily move into that space of neutrality when we're thinking about a situation or thinking about someone that we care for, but it is our friend rather than our immediate selves. And as they say, the truth will always set you free. So this month, speak, be, and seek your truth. That's really the personal theme for the collective at this time. The next card I pulled, let's have a look here, was, we're up here. Yeah, crikey. This card here. And the question I asked before pulling this card is, where is our focus best placed moving into this month with these new energies? And the card that came out is My History Educates Me. Just as the Blue Mountains offer stability to the land, the lessons of my past guide my current decisions. I really like that card. So really what this is saying to us is it's a really good time to use our past and our histories as our teacher. This is a way that really can help us too by reflecting and revisiting some of these things, to close off old cycles and detach from things that are just not serving us and are really holding us anchored, or perhaps holding us in a sort of stagnant pattern at this time, which the closing of old cycles and releasing is a keen, well, it's probably keen, but it's a key supporting function of the energies of the full moon. So by reviewing your past as your teacher, you release the hold and power any of those not so pleasant experiences may have had on you, and you also empower yourself to make future decisions more in line with your highest good, which you'll find really nurtures an inner courage and strength, and it will help you navigate life more easily. And in doing so, once you've embodied and taken on that knowledge, you open yourself up to a lot more possibilities. So that's a really lovely message this month in terms of where we should be focusing and looking to learn from our past. The next question I looked at, and the card I pulled, let's start with that, was this one here, which is peace. Release the past. There is more enriching future coming. Let go and let God. That's certainly that card certainly is reinforcing the previous card in terms of looking into your past and healing that and moving through that. So, sorry, the question I asked before drawing that card is how we'll find the greatest fulfillment moving forward. And so what it is saying is it's about making our peace with our past and releasing anything that doesn't serving us. And this card's also reminding us that it will be rewarded well for doing so, in a sense that life may become more abundant and more vibrant, and we'll just lift that weight or any concerns or anything that the past experiences or lessons or any residual sort of gunk, for lack of a better word. By finding your peace, you finally let that go. The final card I drew was, before drawing the card, I asked, what can we practically be doing ourselves to align with our greatest potential? So what can we actually be doing to align ourselves with our greatest potential? And what I was wanting in this one is guidance in terms of practicalities, because we can talk about these theories and bits and pieces and ways of thinking, but what can we actually be doing here and now to really step into that alignment and really move forward? And we got this card here, which is the number 8, so the power card. So what I'm getting with this card is, don't be fearful of acknowledging and stepping into your personal power. So from a practical sense, that may be committing to holding your personal boundaries, where in the past you may have wavered due to ease or wanting to make others happy, or you might have been second guessing yourself and you just go, oh, it's just easier just to give in. Stepping out of your power also might be about choosing to use your voice when previously you might have not have spoken up. It could also look like sharing your gifts with others, or sharing your gifts with others that may actually make you feel somewhat vulnerable. However, it is in those places of vulnerability that we actually start activating our courage and strength and distancing ourselves from any associated fears. It's like by stepping into your personal power, it's like you're taking a step towards abundance and well-being and saying yes to the universe. I want these things, rather than being held or stagnating due to that fear sort of mindset. So this month, if you really want to, what you can practically do to align with your highest potential is to challenge yourself this month and step into your power, and think of a couple of actions that you'd take, or things you'll commit to activate your power and align yourself with your highest potential. So there's a really short reading for you today, and thank you for joining me. I hope it has been helpful. There's some really key themes that came through in terms of just really coming to that, if we look at truth and power and history, it's just really coming to that place of operating from the raw, real you, or as some like to call it, the authentic self, and just going with the flow where you can, not feeling the need to design or fully understand exactly every aspect of what's going on in your life. Some things just can't be explained, and that's the beauty of the universe, of the higher power, of learning and embracing your own gut instinct and your own journey. So anyway, until I see you next time, thank you so much and take care. Goodbye.